What's going on, everybody? It's your boy King Gabe here once again. Like I said, just wrapped up that Star Striker unpublished finale, part 5. Almost like the final episodes of WandaVision. So now we're back into another Let's Talk. This time, we did the Star Striker booklet. Now going into a little bit about Brownie. Brown Chronicles 1 and 2. These were the only two that were made of this particular series. It's pretty much what was going. This was the attempt of trying to make Brownie stories, and it was going, and this was actually going to be the forward series after the first 6 Star Strikers. It was going to be implied that this was in the same universe as the Star Striker series, and we'll get to it in a second. But then it kind of a bit. I think when the second book came out, there was going to be like, well, there was going to be some not only something to connect the two series, but it was then going to act as a continuation of what Star Striker had started. Almost pretty much what Yumeko is now in a way, but different. But anyway, it's also kind of like a prototype of what we would later get in the second attempt with the Yumeko comics, the first two, as well as also the official Yumeko novel series. So yeah, so like I say, we'll be hearing. So we got I think that's gonna be another thing before the unpublished Dream League series. Before I start talking about that, obviously this, the first two Yumeko comics, and you're actually gonna get to hear what would have not only continued with this series, but also what would have continued with the Yumeko comic series, because I actually have, not just in my head, but I actually have rough drafts of what the other Yumeko comics were going to be, all the way up to 10. Oh yeah, so yeah, you're going to get to hear that. So yeah, I guess you could say, so yep, this could be Yumeko the comic series. So yeah, starting with Brown Chronicles, of course, kind of a prototype for it. So anyway, before we go into that, first of all, definitely like, share, subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Buy some of our available books, like the ones we're about to talk about. Yeah, definitely, have yourself a copy of these there. As well as also definitely support us on that Patreon, just like your boy AJ the Supreme, Big Sis Casey, and the Iceman Universe. So, and also hang out with us on Discord and excuse me. And look, breakfast still coming up in, man. Let's see. Also hang out with us on Discord and Facebook Messenger, and we can sell some stuff on the Macari app. Now let's dive right in. So as Link Carl would say, let's dig at the Brown Chronicles number 1 and 2. Issue 1 and 2, that to be exact. Okay, so starting with the first one. First of all, let's take a look at the cover. Of course, your boy Brownie is front and center. I mean, after all, it's called Brown Chronicles, so obviously, yep, Brownie was pretty much the central star for the series, although with the other characters, but yeah, definitely Brownie. And on the back, you got Hiko. This is the first time that Hiko was brought into a book series, outside of role playing him in Yu-Gi-Oh. Then he's holding Brownie, of course. So as you can, thing is here, Brownie is a plush toy, much like he actually is in real life. But something is definitely going to happen to him, And I just realized something. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Had to go get Brownie there since he's front and center in the book. Yep, seems right to have Brownie here present. Hello. Yes, I do his voice. So pretty much sort of like the behind the scenes of those. I think someone mentioned about when they did a behind the scenes of the Muppets, and you actually got to see the actors playing the different Muppets. They revealed them, had them just acting away and everything, and the magic was not ruined. Also, sort of like SpongeBob, with the actors for the different for the SpongeBob, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Patrick acting away for the very first, doing a special voiceover with the episode Help Wanted live for an audience. So yep, we get him here. So on the summary of the book, it says Hikoji Makuro, also known as Hiko for short, has imagined his friend Brownie B. Brown in several adventures, much like in Yumeko. But when they arrive in Shreveport, they'll experience an adventure like no other when the imaginary becomes a reality. And so, let's find out about this here. Of course, this story basically has a plane coming in there, and much like the Star Trek comics, yep, you definitely you do get some live action scenes. Of course, it's Shreveport plane coming in, and it's actually Hiko and his mom, and also his little sister Taikari right there. And of course, you see him holding Brownie. And right there, you got somebody waiting for them at the airport. That would be Koshi Yukoshi, which is Julie's dad in there. No, I'll take that back. That was Julie's grandpa. So yeah, Julie's grandpa, which y'all know, Julie is the one that becomes Sword Girl. So for this universe, we get to see her grandpa, and we'll also see her grandmother as well. Hikoji and Taikari, of course Hiko for short, his mother Yolanda Makuro, and yes, him and his mother are in the Yumeko novel series as well. As for Taikari, she actually will be in the Yumeko novel series, but he has not been introduced yet, and there's a different way that she'll be introduced for the novel series, but I'm not going to spoil that though. But here, yeah, she is his imaginary sister. Okay, so I'm sorry. She is his sister in the series. In real life, just a little bit of history. Reason why I said imaginary. In real life, when I was like about 13, I want to say, actually started from when I was middle school. 12 years old, I actually imagined myself with having DW as my imaginary sister, and on top of that, because I was also into Digimon at the time, I imagined a digital clone of DW. So the original DW was still canon in the Arthur series, and we had a clone of DW came out the computer as my little sister. Yeah, a little creative, kind of weird, but creative. And then at 13, that's when I first actually made up my own imaginary sister that wasn't DW, but her name was Ashley. Same name as Will Smith's little cousin in The Fresh Prince. There, Ashley. So yeah, her name was Ashley, and then when Casey and I started role playing Yu-Gi-Oh, Ashley came back into the fold for the role plays to my character in Yu-Gi-Oh, which was Hiko. That's where Hiko first was created for the Yu-Gi-Oh role plays. As his sister, since I knew about animes having English dubs as well as also their the original Japanese version, But English dub, Hiko's name was actually Rudy Rutabaga. Don't ask. And his sister was Tayana Rutabaga. But for the Japanese version, Hiko Makuro and Taikari Makuro, which those names, as you could probably guess, because of what we're about to get into back into here, kind of stuck a lot better as far as being just official name, not just Japanese version, but just official names in general. So that's how the creation of not only Hiko but also his little sister came into play in what we're getting into. Yeah. So of course they meet up with Mio, which is Koshi's wife, and also their grandchildren, Juliet, and also her little brother Tim. Another difference with this as opposed to especially the Yumeko novel series, and also I think the comic version. In this one, like Taikari, like say in this series, Hiko and Julie are actually middle school, along with some other kids that they're about to meet. Well, some of the other kids they're going to meet up with. Tim and Taikari, their little siblings, were actually a little bit younger, still in elementary. I want to say at least 8 years old, with a 3-year age gap there. However, in the Yumeko series, Julie and Tim are actually twins, so they're both the same age, both of them being 8 years old. Because most of the kids now in the Yumeko novel series are starting out in elementary, 8 years old, and Taikari is still younger than like Hiko, 5, which I think she's gonna be 5 when she's introduced in Yumeko novel series. So she's still younger, but yeah, so that's kind of the little bit of difference between what we're reading here and what will come up in Yumeko. And now they come up to the not the cave, but the Cafe of Wonders, kind of inspired by the Cave of Wonders, but as a restaurant, and meet up with the restaurant's owners, Marcus and Felicia. Marcus actually being based off of another friend of mine, actually both a friend of mine and also a friend of EJ the Supreme. Even worked with him at the library. So we both me and EJ know him pretty well. So I got him as a restaurant owner here, and also he is part of the Yumeko novel series as a character there. More about that when I actually talk about the Yumeko novels later on, especially after the 3rd book comes out. And also, and also, he last time that I talked with Marcus, kind of thinking about me and EJ being in some projects of his there. So we will find out when it happens. And Felicia definitely is based off of somebody that I know at the store. That I know pretty well at the store. Kind of like the Medea of the store. So yeah. So kind of got that going. And of course we meet their kids. We have Tyrone, who's I think he's probably like 18 at this point. Based off another co-worker of mine that I work with from the night crew, and then his little brother, who is the same age as Hiko, Zayden, of course, who starts immediately flirting with Julie there. Of course, and he's actually based off another friend of mine from middle school, who sort of acted like this back in middle school. He was sort of a ladies' man in middle school. Always, and it's like, hey, what's up? Almost kind of like make you think of Brock from Pokemon or Johnny Bravo kind of thing going there. And also, this was a thing when Casey and I role played a lot of time her character, especially Julie from the Yu-Gi-Oh role plays, a lot of time different different guy characters in what we were role playing had a tendency, not all of them, but most of the time they'd be like, "Hey Julie, what's up?" Yeah, she was kind of one that they always wanted to flirt with there. Yeah, as you can see, Cafe of Wonders, you got Marcus and Felicia, the grandmother with Julie and Tim, and of course Zayden. It's kind of got that magician thing going. Now, the funny thing is, even though he's flirting with Julie, you see Taikari actually has hearts for him. Yeah, it's a lot of us, we probably, some of us don't want to admit to this, but sometimes us guys are kind of blind to this type of thing. We go after the one that we, most of the time, especially growing up, before we, get to adults, sometime as adults, but mostly when we're growing up as kids, we start having crushes on the pretty girl at school and stuff like that. It's always, most of the time, it's usually that girl that really doesn't have an interest in us, and we're like, hi. But then suddenly there's this girl that's interested in us, and we kind of don't notice it because we're so busy with the one that doesn't have an interest in us. Just kind of how it does most of the time. Not all the time, but that's kind of what happens most of the time. And yeah, it's, as Timon said to Puma, it's a hard truth. We just got to live, it is, So, of course, yeah, like I said, so flirting and all that. There's an introduction of the villain. He's plotting his evil scheme. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Had to let that out there. Okay, so he's plotting his little evil scheme. Then, a little bit later at the cafe, we get the introduction of Naomi. This is actually the first time, because Naomi is in Heroes of Dreams. But here, when she's introduced here in Brown Chronicles, now this was an ideal of Casey, and it's carried over into Yumeko. And also in Brown Chronicles, she is the same age as Tim and Taikari, so she's younger than Hiko here. But in the Yumeko comic and novel series, she's the same age as Hiko, because when the comic Yumeko came out and a novel, and I actually got permission from Casey to do this. I was like, maybe I could pair Hiko and Naomi together. Yeah, sure, why not? There, so and that was why we had had another character in there, because originally it was Tim x Naomi in previous little things that we've done with the characters there, especially back in especially here for Brown Chronicles, had this one any further. But yeah, at least that's what I think was going to happen. But then, as when Yumeko comics and also the novel came out, just like how Star Striker was attracted to Angela, Hiko had an attraction with Naomi. So yep, for Yumeko, yeah, they were made the same age. Actually, and I'll take that back. For the novel, she's actually 2 years older than Hiko, but still, they kind of got a little thing for each other. Sort of like the age difference between me and Christina. She's 2 years older than I am, but I was like, hey, what's up, Christina? Hey, Christina. So, this was also a reason why this happened in the Yumeko series, not in Brown Chronicles yet, but this is why that came to my mind for Yumeko. for Brown Chronicles, this was the first time that Naomi was introduced as an autistic character. This was an ideal of Casey because she wanted to do something different with the character, which also probably because I don't think she had some character in Heroes of Dream, but we didn't really get to see a whole lot of it, other than her backstory, stuff like that. But we didn't get to see a whole lot of it, like as far as her personality, I put that way, play out. Other than I would imagine her sort of like Kari from Digimon there, how back went from the first season there. But here, yeah, she is autistic. Yeah, so that to really kind of add to her character and stuff like that, kind of give some give some depth to the different characters, including her. And of course, like myself in real life, my character ADHD, so yeah, so that, but yeah, that was kind of a little, had to say a little bit of abnormality for the characters there. Mm-hmm. So, like I once said with Casey and Christina, we're all pretty much like X-Men, but except we don't have adamantium claws or anything in real life, though. Which, as cool as that is, as cool as it would be to have claws come out your fist, there'd be a lot of drawbacks to it, as Logan would probably even point out, even for the world of fiction, because it kind of hurts him to do that, even though he heals and stuff, but it hurts every time he does it. And as we all know in the movie Logan, yeah, eventually his healing factor died out, which led to the adamantium itself killing him there. So yeah, kind of a sort of a good thing at first, but then a tragedy. Yeah. So, think I'd rather have like the powers like some of the other mutants, like Cyclops or Storm or something. There, power of light, power of lightning, strike again. Power of web shooters, get real sticky. Okay, so back with the with this here. Oh, sorry, Bernie. And you see a little bit of the villain there. So see Naomi here introduced. Now, how I had her behavior here, I did do some research on how autism worked, but there was still some things I was kind of fuzzy on there. Matter of fact, I even had sort of looked. There's a TikToker. If I hadn't mentioned her before, I'm pretty sure I may have, but if I hadn't, Sound of the Forest, Nicole Parrish, that I've been watching on TikTok, and yeah, she is autistic. And she tells different things about herself and everything. And also to clear something up, because I know some people may not fully understand about autism and stuff like that. It is not, one thing about it, it's not a disease there. And it's not some, disease or something like that. It's just means the person has a different way of thinking and how their mind functions there, and it's just something that it's just a part of them, and it's different with every person. Just like how every person is different, autism is different in every person. So one autistic person may do something that's different from another autistic person. It's just kind of how it is, and yeah. So like I say, I just pointing that out. So yeah, like I say, you're around someone that's like that, don't be like, don't. You don't need to be afraid of them. You don't need to alienate them. Don't treat them like I need to get something to cure this person. That's just, you just gotta work. That's just something, they're just different there. just like people in general. Everybody's different. So, cleared that up there. So anyway, with that said, oh yeah. So what I had seen, and because of Naomi's age, Most of what I did though, she got she it was kind of like her dialogue was kind of limited there. Um, I like she kind of repeated some things there, and also I kind of added in there that she was really sensitive there. Um, one person I had in mind when I wrote Naomi in Brown Chronicles was this girl Julia, who was autistic. Julie, who was autistic, in she was a Muppet in Sesame Street. That they created the first autistic character for Sesame Street. And so I watched episodes with her and picked up some things there, along with still looking at Sound of the Forest on TikTok. So um, yeah, but mostly Julia because of Naomi's age in this version here. So Naomi's really impressed with Brownie and everything, as well as everybody else. Hiko tells them a little bit about Brownie. He got Brownie when he was like 5 years old. Imagine him in different things, like him having his own band, which and being a firefighter, talk show host, going to space, and even rescuing a princess from some ice monsters. Which when I start getting to books 4 and on in the Yumeko novel series, we're gonna work some of this stuff into that. Brownie's a little, guess you could say, kind of little origin there, somewhat. I put it this way: his high school years, little high school, as well as also joining first time that he joined the firefighters, which was part of a junior firefighter program there, and got to where he's at the beginning of the novel series. Um, yeah, so yeah, there's that there, and then of course everybody starts bonding and stuff. But then and then this was actually my way of trying to put Star Striker in the same universe as this, but it was kind of it was the way it was going to happen was kind of a mystery at first. Uh, we get a mention of Star Striker from Tim, saying like Brownie could be like a superhero. Yep, and he doesn't come out and say Star Striker, but with the pictures, yeah, anybody who's read the Star Striker books would know who Tim is talking about there. And then suddenly Hiko vanishes. He sent into this cornfield, way out kind of where me and my big papa would used to go fishing at. And suddenly runs into some weird looking golden buffaloes there. Oh boy. And then when he screams out for help, here comes Brownie to the rescue, and he actually has a little something different from what he'll have in Yumeko, but he has like these electrical powers with a magic yo-yo, and sort of does a Yu-Gi-Oh like transformation there. If something like this would play out in Yumeko, I'm not completely sure, but anything's possible. You never know. So, and then it continues over into the second book. As you can see, I got a picture of him flying and everything with his yo-yo and stuff. There's the back of it. About to face this monster known as Yadan here. I'll tell you a little more about him in just a second there. Hiko's imagination has become strong enough to bring Brownie to life with amazing powers. Will these powers be enough to defeat this behemoth Yandan? Yandan, yeah. Yeah, and by the way, that... okay, we'll get to it in a second. Yeah, we'll get to it. So, yeah, it's sort of like last time in Brown Chronicles. Went back at the restaurant after Hiko's disappearance. because Naomi and Hiko hugged each other, just a little friendly hug there, before he mysteriously vanished. Naomi gets, like I say, I put in there that she was really sensitive, and she instantly starts saying sorry and thinking that there's something that she did that caused all this. Taikari immediately tries to tell her, Naomi, it's not your fault. There, say we're gonna get him back to try to help calm her down and everything. And then suddenly Julie, because of her psychic powers and everything, she has a vision of this Yandan creature heading for the Cafe of Wonders, and also Hiko in danger. And of course Zayden tries to come in like, hey Julie, if there's some danger, I'm available. I'll go take care of things for you, Julie, okay? And be sure to protect you, my beautiful Juliet, from any danger. Of course, Julie is like, Julie's not putting up with this right now. She don't have time. I don't have time for this nonsense, Zayden. They stop calling me your Juliet, thinking I'm some damsel in distress for you to rescue. And this is actually kind of some, way Casey kind of feels about that kind of thing there. And not only, and Casey's probably not the only one like that. Let's be honest. Probably some of y'all there's probably some of y'all like Casey feeling the way she does. That's watching this video right now. To my female audience, some of y'all probably like that whole damsel in distress thing. Yeah, yeah. So whole equal everything. So. Excuse me. I'm not, but just for me, I don't have like a cold or anything there. Just sometime out of nowhere that cough will just come. I don't, like I say, it's not a cold or nothing. It just, I don't get it. Probably took a cough drop and sort of get it down under control and stuff, but it still creeps up at times there. But anyway, so we go on. That's funny. So back at the fields, Brownie has rescued Hiko, of course, and then of course Yandan himself shows up. Oh boy. Now the inspiration for Yandan, and that's pretty good. I gotta admit, that's a pretty good design there too. Wow. I mean, look at the horns and stuff, and the fang and the tusk and everything. He's actually the type of creature that he is. He's supposed to be like a combination between. Let's see. I may have mentioned it in here. See if my page just started flipping. Okay, so I think he's supposed to be like a combination between a buffalo and a tyrannosaurus there. So that's quite the combination there. You got to admit there. So what he's based off of, Hiko mentions. That he's a boss villain from a video game that he's played. Called Magic Journey. And when you arrive at his lair, he would be eating a buffalo. And while he's eating, he pays no attention to anything else around him. So if you go behind him without being seen and attack him from behind and hit him until he's out of hit points, and it's the only way to defeat him, because if you destroy the buffalo that he's about to eat, he pretty much goes on an attack rampage, and it's really hard to land the blow on him. That's actually inspired from I don't know if any of y'all that's ever heard of this game, way back from Nintendo, called Star Tropics. He is actually a boss villain from not just Star Tropics, but Star Tropics #2, Zoda's Revenge. And the first boss villain was a creature from prehistoric era called Yum Yum. He was kind of based off of that. I think Yum Yum, from the way he looked like a combination of a dinosaur and an alligator there. So he would be seen eating wild boars, and yeah, that's pretty much he had to defeat him. He had to try to strike him while he was eating there. That was about the best way to defeat him. So yeah, so Brownie of course tries to face Yandan, but he's a little too powerful there. Brownie actually makes the mistake of destroying his dinner. Like, all right, chow time is up, and yeah, pretty much ticks off Yandan. Julie arrives as Sword Girl to help out there, and is able comes to Brownie and Hiko's aid there. And this is how her design looks here. And remember from the Star Trek comic series. Now, while I did not get this out, I only got 6 Star Striker books. But if I had got a 7 book, if there was a Star Striker issue number 7, we would have seen a version of Sword Girl in that book, and in that series, that would have been the first time that Sword Girl does not have a mask like the way she does in the unpublished Star Striker series and also Heroes of Dreams. So, as of now, Brown Chronicles is the first time Sword Girl appears without a mask and just, her samurai clothes and everything. And also notice she has a cross there. Yep. On the strap that's holding her swords in there. Yep, so pretty good design there. So they mentioned how to beat him and everything, and of course it results into the climax of the story where they have to Brownie and Julie have to team up to distract Yandan in order to take him down and pretty much save the day there. Yeah, so yeah, it's a pretty epic battle, sort of blow him up Power Ranger style. Like when they do that final sword strike and slay the monster. Go Power Rangers. And yep, but it's mentioned, this is only the beginning there. The big boss, the one that sent Yandan to try to destroy Hiko for reasons, is still out there. Had this series continued, we would find out more about the guy who's the guy that sent Yandan, and we would also know what his beef is with Hiko, as well as also the other kids there. But yeah, like I say, only got 2 books out of this. And this and at the end of it, well, I'm not gonna spoil that there. So yeah, there is something pertaining to Star Striker, but I'm not gonna reveal what it is, and also something else. So yeah, I'm gonna let that stay a mystery. That way, y'all definitely will have to get the books to find out about that. So yep. So that was the first. That's what I'm revealing of the first 2 Brown Chronicle books. So yeah, still got to get y'all a copy to find out what all that was about. At least in the first 2 that were published there. So y'all enjoyed that and everything there, and definitely like, share, subscribe. Get some of our available books and everything, like the ones we just talked about. Support us on that Patreon, just like your boy Adrian Austin Supreme, Big Sis Casey and the Iceman Universe. And also, let's just hang out on Discord or Facebook, chat, and sell each other some stuff on the McCary app. Cause we all need a little extra spending cash here and there. Not just here at Miracle Productions, but also even you guys, y'all want to say, hey, a little something to throw out a little way for y'all to get some extra cash too. So McCary app, definitely check that out. And we will see y'all in the next video. Y'all take care, everybody. Peace.